volts went through his body.
I beg your pardon?
He got 10,000 volts.
That's enough to elect anybody. He should be president.
No, not that kind.
What kind?
Volts.
That's what I said. He got 10,000.
You know what volts are?
They're what?
That's right.
What'd I say?
Volts or watts?
Well, go ahead and tell me.
You just said it.
I just asked you to tell me what I said. What I said?
Volts or watts?
Volts or what?
Yes.
I'm asking you what's volts.
That's right.
Don't try to twist me now. What are you talking about, a dialect?
Watts.
Watts, what?
Volts.
What's volts?
That's right.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
Well, that's it.
What are volts?
That's right.
I'm asking you.
Watts. Watts are volts.
What?
That's right.
Next thing you know, you'll be telling me what's on second base.
Oh, now don't stop.
That's enough.
Don't stop.
I quit.
All right, wait a minute.
Goosebumps. Nothing short of goosebumps. What an amazing tune. 10,000 volts. We have a very, very special Guitar Tales for today. And before we jump right in, we want to thank our regular sponsor, Mischief Studios, and our brand new sponsor, Confections of a Rockstar, an amazing, amazing bakery over in Asbury Park. Fabulous food. I've been there. Even for your dog, you can get food over there. This show is amazing. We're jumping right in. I want to thank our dear friend, actor, and writer Bruce Pekarsky for helping us set this up. We have the legendary, voted one of the greatest heavy metal guitar players of all time, Ace Frehley, on. Scott, can you bring us all onto the studio?
And hey, there's me.
I made it.
You did make it. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Cool. So much. And you guys were great in helping us set it up. We're appreciative. I know Lara was fabulous. And
yeah, thanks, Lara.
Well, yeah. Lara was very instrumental. She's on her way to Manhattan. She's getting her nails done and her hair done.
Nice.
I don't get to do that.
Do tomorrow at Walmart, and then Saturday is Sam Ash.
Right, I saw that.
That's right. You got that live appearance there. Yeah. It's good stuff. I don't know if you remember. I met you and Laura. You played at the Palladium in 2022 when Bruce was able to get us backstage, and you guys were wonderful. And that show was amazing, absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Yeah,
a lot of energy, man.
Yeah.
I read some comments on YouTube, and people telling me to retire. I don't think so.
Oh, no way. No way. You took a solo that night. It was amazing. You know, I remember you had most of the folks leave the stage and you had fun. And I was there with Bruce and his brother. I know you know Scott also, Scott Pekarsky. And I just said, this guy loves guitar. He just loves guitar.
I mean, if you're not having fun doing it, that's when you maybe say, it's not for me anymore.
I never know what I'm going to play when I do my solo. It's never the exact same solo every night. I always mix it up with different things and whatever comes to mind. Sometimes I'll just start playing something out of the blue that pops into my head. But, you know, the fans enjoy it, and I'm having fun. They're having fun. So.
Yeah, because you're a self-taught guy, as I am. There's nothing worse than being nailed down to a specific solo and playing the same thing over and over and over again, I think.
I grew up in a musical family. I was the youngest of 3 kids, and everybody played an instrument. You know, my mom and dad, my brother and sister all played piano. My brother and sister played piano and guitar. And when it came time for me to take piano lessons, I said, I'm going to pass. Had my brother teach me a few chords on his folk guitar, and then I got an electric guitar for Christmas when I was 13, and I was off to the races at that point.
Who was your guy in those days? You were a Chuck Berry guy, or?
Well, I was into all the blues guys, you know. B.B. King, Albert King, Freddie King. I remember seeing Freddie King right across the Tappan Zee Bridge in some bar.
Yeah.
And
Great.
it was amazing when he went into Palace of the King, and it was intense. But, I used to go to the Fillmore East on a regular basis.
Oh,
And I
that's good
see
stuff.
everybody there, the Who, the Cream,
Wow.
Led
Yeah.
Zeppelin.
Yeah, Scott and I were joking. I'm a fellow Who fanatic, and they were just so influential for me as a human being. Forget as a guitar player, and then Pete as a guitar player for you. I'm sure unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Because the showmanship is a huge part of your repertoire.
Well, when I saw the Who for the first time, I was only 15, and it was their first U.S. tour. I had cut school, and I went to a Murray the K show in Midtown.
Okay.
And I went to see Mitch Wright and the Detroit Whales because I was a big fan of Jim McCarty, who
Right.
later on in life, we ended up becoming close friends, and we hung out, and we actually ended up doing some touring together. But, the Cream and the Who were opening for them.
Isn't that crazy to think that?
Who the hell they were.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
And the Who probably hadn't really found their voice yet at that point, right? They little more modish than they eventually became, I suspect.
Yeah, I mean, it was a slow progression,
It was. Now what was your first guitar?
I think it was a Japanese Kent or something like that.
Right.
I can't even remember the name.
Yeah, there were
my friend had a Zimgar.
right.
I had a Kent, or
There was Tisco back then.
around. I don't know.
They
Then
had
I
this,
went to a Hagstrom, and then
Mhm.
from that I went to a Telecaster, and
and you landed with Gibson, right? That really was your mainstay for a lot of years, right?
Well, once I got a Les Paul, I was in love.
That was
Yeah.
My first Les Paul, I got it on 48th Street at Manny's.
Manny's, the legendary Manny's.
Standard, and from that, I just kept. Eventually, I went from standards to customs.
Right.
I
Right.
ended up customizing all the guitars, making all the plastic Cream. And if it didn't have a middle pickup, I had one put in. Because I like the 3 pickup trademark.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It just looked better, but I don't use the bridge pickup or the middle pickup when I'm performing live.
Oh really?
It disconnected.
Oh, that's it. But they're badass looking guitars when you got all 3 of those humbuckers in there.
So initially, you did all the custom work yourself, I would imagine. First,
Yeah, I did all the customizing myself until it got really. Once I joined Kiss, and I started with the fog, the smoking guitar. I put a smoke bomb inside the
The cavity there.
the cavity that has the tone and volume controls. But the smoke ended up, screwing up my volume and tone controls. So
All right.
Oh yeah.
Because you put an actual smoke bomb in it.
I got together with an engineer, and we decided to, since I don't use the bridge pickup, we decided to make a phony one with a box. We reamed out, and we put smoke bombs in there, and I control it with the other 2 volume and tone controls that I don't use.
It's amazing.
That is amazing.
What a showstopper. The first time you brought that out, the people must have went out of their minds. Out of their minds. They'd never seen anything like that before. Completely
then I
original.
graduated to the idea of having the light guitar, and I used that exclusively in New York Groove whenever I performed. And it just kept going on, my career with Kiss and without Kiss, I invented the rocker guitar,
Right.
after the light guitar, and then on the reunion tour, I ended up designing a pinwheel guitar.
I saw that.
And it
Yeah,
was
with
a
the sparks.
pinwheel that was perpendicular to the neck, so the sparks didn't hit me, but the rest of the guys had to watch out.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's great.
Real sparks for real pain.
Yeah, but I always had fun modifying guitars, and ever since I was a kid, I had to take everything apart and put it back together to
God,
see
same
what
as me.
made it tick.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. I mean, that's part of the love of the instrument. Is taking that apart, seeing the foil that's inside, playing with your pickups. And I don't think in 5 years we've had one guitarist on who doesn't know how to do that. Like all the really serious guitar players love digging into the electronics and having fun with it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I do that with everything. I was always a computer nut.
Right.
The early Macs, you used to be able to hot rod the CPUs and put in faster CPUs and overclock them with special gadgets.
Wow.
I used to hot rod my computers because I did animations. I did the animation in Psycho Circus Tour, where the four faces morph from one into the other.
Yep.
I did that animation on my laptop. Gene saw it and he took me out the next day and bought me $15,000 worth of computers. Hey, keep going with this. It's good.
That's next level stuff. I had no clue about that level of techno sophistication.
So I found out you're like a painter too. Like you're quite an artist, right?
Well, you'd be surprised, but most musicians can draw. Art and music go hand in hand. When I was in high school, I was an A+ art student. I doubled up on art, actually. I went to DeWitt Clinton High School, and I was really good friends with the head of the art department. He'd get me out of trouble and give me hall passes and stuff, even though he wasn't supposed to, because he knew I had the gift of, art. And, eventually I came up when I joined KISS, designing the KISS logo, and
right.
Worked on the Anomaly album cover, and but I don't really have the time to do art much anymore. I'm between touring, doing videos, and
these damn interviews.
Recording. Since I delivered this record, I must have done 250 interviews. So.
Wow, that's got to be hard work. You got to do it,
right?
But that's got to be a challenge.
It happened yesterday. I had 5 interviews to do, and the last one was Australia. And, KISS was always huge in Australia. I went to Australia with Gene in 2018. And, they're dying to have me come back. But, I couldn't believe the clarity. We were doing a Zoom call, and the audio and the video was just so clear. There was no latency. And it was like he was in the next room, and the guy's halfway around the world. So technology has just come so far.
We used to do this show in a studio in New Jersey here, 3-camera shoot, HD, and then the guests would have to come to Bordentown.
So
but now we
can. Where are you guys now? You guys both in the same location or different?
No, we're both.
We're in New Jersey, but David's in Manahawkin and I'm in Wall Township, New Jersey.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so when COVID hit, we started doing what we called the fireside chats on Guitar Tales, and then Scott beefed up our technology, and we left the world of Zoom, and we're on Restream now. So this is a crystal clear show, so we get as good quality as we had in the studio before. So we're grateful for that.
I remember when I moved in with Laura after I moved back from California, because I broke up with this crazy girlfriend I had out there, and we were living in a 2,500 square foot house. I didn't have a recording studio, and COVID hit. And, the kids were going to school remotely on computers. And all I would do is I'd lay in bed, play guitar, and I'd watch the numbers on YouTube.
They go. Yeah.
People that were dying, and I kept looking at Laura going, I don't know, this could be the end of the world. And finally, thank God, it leveled off,
Yeah. So we ask a lot of our guests, and we'll ask you, in terms, like, you're an artist on multiple levels, and we ask a lot of folks, when COVID hit and people were stuck in a home, hey, what happened to your art? And we're always interested in hearing, what it did for you. So we'll ask you, what did that do for your artistic expression and sort of your ability to grow?
It slowed it down dramatically because
Hmm.
I've always had a studio in my home, whether
Okay.
it was a converted bedroom or in most cases, whenever I had a house, I built a studio in the basement like this one you see.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that when I first moved in with Laura. So, I'd be recording stuff into my iPhone, song ideas, but, I really couldn't. I didn't have all my Pro Tools stuff set up, and I was just getting over the trauma of moving 3,000 miles back
Right.
east because I was living in California for about 11 years, and it was culture shock coming back to the East Coast, which is where I'm from originally. I grew up in the Bronx.
Yep.
So it was an adjustment, I had forgotten what winters are like.
Haven't been that terrible lately, thank God. But yeah,
Yeah. But no mudslides.
no.
No mudslides.
Or
It's funny, I
earthquakes.
was watching a mudslide yesterday on YouTube, and
Oh yeah. I got caught in one of the Malibu fires years ago. So
Yeah.
you don't have that anymore,
well, I remember that in California when they had those fires that
Yep.
were really close to LA. And I actually remember being on the 405 and there were flames on both sides.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you were driving into hell.
Yeah, we escaped on Cannondale Road. We got stuck in by the beach, and the fire was dancing over the PCH onto the beach. And when the police weren't looking, we actually hopped in our car and took one of the canyon roads, and thankfully we were okay. But you don't have that. You don't have that in Jersey, so that's something.
I've always said to friends of mine, I'll never live in Jersey, but when you fall in love with somebody and they're living in Jersey, you don't have a choice.
That's right. And there's worse fates, right?
But I soon realized that northern New Jersey is a lot like upstate New York.
Oh, it's gorgeous up there.
And I'm only 10 minutes from the New York border,
Yeah.
we're in Sparta. So it's not very different because I lived in Westchester a lot of my life,
Okay.
except for when I lived in Connecticut for a while and had that recording studio. That I was there for 7 years, but then I moved back to Westchester and I lived Pleasantville, White Plains, all over.
What was life like for Ace in the early days when you were in the Bronx there?
Oh, well, I started off playing guitar, and at the same time, I joined the gang, the Ducky Boys.
Oh, really?
I got tired of getting beat up when I went to the corner candy store. I joined the gang so I'd have protection.
Did it work?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, nobody would fuck with me because I'm in the gang, and
The Candy Boys, you said, or
the Ducky
anybody
Boys?
who
Ducky
wanted to
Boys.
start a fight with me would, they go, oh, their friends would say, yeah, don't fuck with him. He's one of the Ducky Boys.
Please tell me you painted their logo for them, the Ducky Boys logo. Did they have a logo?
No, I didn't. But I used to do. I used to get it was before Sharpies. I used to get like a flare.
Right.
Yeah.
And I used to draw tattoos on the guy's arms.
Really?
Oh, that's great.
Stuff like that, and it was crazy. The thing that got me away from the gangs was once I started playing in bands, guys in the gangs would call me up and say, hey, we're going to rob a warehouse this weekend. We're going to steal a couple of cars. We got a fight in the schoolyard with just chains and knives.
Oh, jeez.
And I say, I can't go. I got a gig,
Oh, that's good.
I got to do a couple of shows. So after a while, they just got tired of calling me because, I was playing pretty steady almost every weekend. And it pretty much saved me because most of those guys I hung out with ended up going to jail or ODing or, whatever.
Yeah.
Sad.
Your road to sobriety has been quite a challenge. How many years sober now, Ace?
Well, I've been sober 17 years. I got sober in 2006, but I tried sobriety a couple of times. There were points in my life when I was sober for like a year and a half. Then I'd go out on the road and, everybody else in the bus was drinking.
That's hard.
after a while, my sponsor said to me, if you're going to really be serious about sobriety, you can't have anybody drinking around you. So, I outlaw alcohol and drugs in the dressing room. And that's worked for me.
Good.
And it's good for the people around you.
I still go to meetings,
Good, man. Excellent.
No, that's really good stuff.
I'm a health professional by trade. I'm a pharmacist, so I see a lot of that stuff firsthand. It's pretty rough out there for a lot of guys.
Well, the whole fentanyl thing is crazy.
Yeah,
it is.
It's a whole nother level of hell.
My doctor said to me, they're making fake pills that look like pharmaceutical pills, but they're cut with fentanyl. And he says, you can take one pill and die.
And that's the end of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're done.
It's really scary. And they're giving them to kids, which is even worse.
It's the lack of morality of the folks who are ready to make a couple of bucks on that is just terrifying. It really is.
Yeah, they don't care.
Usually the guys who are selling it to kids or giving it to kids are strung out on it as well. So they need to support their habit, Yeah. So, once you have a drug habit, everything, your morals go out the window.
You can't even see it, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's a shame. That
And,
really is.
I mean, I'll be honest, even with me, when I was drinking and doing drugs, I didn't pay as much attention to my family as I should have, and touring became tougher.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually you end up getting sick and tired of being sick and tired.
That makes sense. Yeah. And I hear in your voice, like you're doing everything right, because whenever any of us makes any kind of lifetime error, we own it. You own it, and the people around you love you, and you move on. And that's the beauty of it. As soon as you own it and and you're accountable for it, everyone takes you back.
Well, the first couple of years were the hardest,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine me going through a weekend without having a beer.
Right.
Eventually you get a week, and then you get a month, and before you know it, you got a year sober, and then you start working on you're working through the steps. You got 2 years. I had a great sponsor. Believe it or not, the policeman who arrested me when I went crazy in White Plains, New York with the DeLorean affair.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The arresting officer. He is my sponsor to this day.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful.
That's
He saved my life on multiple occasions, and I owe my life to this guy, and we're still close friends and speak a couple of times a week.
That's fantastic.
It is.
And it's great that he's still alive, because he's got to be 5 years older than me. So he's approaching 80. I'm going to be 73.
Right.
But I dropped 45 pounds over the last year and a half, and Laura's been helping me work out because she's a personal trainer as well.
Oh, is she? Okay.
So, I surround myself with positive people, people I work with, there's no drugs or alcohol allowed. So it makes life a lot easier.
We've had your bassist on our show recently. Ryan Cook's been on with us, and he says it's been a really great experience playing with you and getting out there.
To be honest with you, I can go out and people can have 1 or 2 cocktails. It doesn't bother me anymore. The first or second year in sobriety, it would have bothered me, but I don't really get urges anymore, After 17 years, looking in the mirror and then looking at photos of me 20 years ago when I was all bloated from alcohol and
right.
It's really, that also gives me the willpower and the strength, to stay away from all that junk.
And you got a good support system, especially at home.
And I love the way what you've said. You put only positive minded people around you, and then when you do that, life becomes so much better.
Yeah, get rid of negativity.
Yeah, it's just I listen to my sponsor. I go to meetings. If something's bothering me, I'll go to a meeting and I'll share it, and then I get rid of it. You let it roll off your back, and it's gone. And instead of having to take a pill or a drink to get rid of that, resentment, what's ever bothered me. I mean, you know, I had really big resentments against Paul and Gene when I quit the band the first time and even the
Right.
second time. Yeah,
Okay.
because, you know, when I left the band, you know, they used to say I got fired, which is complete bullshit.
Yeah.
Both times I left on my own accord, and they would perpetuate the myth that they fired me, which is complete bullshit. And,
To protect their own egos, maybe.
Who knows?
whatever. You
Yeah.
know,
They spin it any way
there's
they want.
always a jealousy there. You know, the fact that my solo album with New York Groove was the most successful out of the four.
Yep. Yep.
It's always been, you know, I used to get the hottest girls. I didn't go after movie stars though, you know, because that just complicates things. Because
I would imagine.
celebrity, if you got another celebrity there, and it's twice as complicated. So I don't understand why Gene went out with Cher,
Right.
Diana Ross. You know, it just became harder.
Yeah.
You know, to have to do it. You know, if you want to go do anything. You know, but Gene doesn't party, so you know he's pretty much in the hotel. And he doesn't like going out on vacations, he told me. He hasn't been on a vacation in 15 plus years.
Wow.
But, you know, everybody's different.
Yeah.
You're one of the original four guys. I don't recognize any other version of Kiss. I really don't. I'm being
No.
honest.
Oh, people change over the years, you know. I mean, those guys dragged my reputation through the mud
Yeah,
on several occasions.
sure.
I mean, even recently, you know, 8-9 months ago, you know, before they put once they put the tickets on sale for Madison Square Garden, you know, they were telling everybody that they invited me, Peter, Bruce Kulick, you know, all the people that were involved with Kiss over the years. I was a, you know, founding member. And, you know, they were telling the fans that we were going to be there at Madison Square Garden. And then, like,
money.
you know, a month before the show, you know, they start, you know, Paul goes on Howard Stern and says, well, if me and Peter got up on stage, you know, the band, you might as well call the band Piss, which
Oh,
pissed me off. And
As it should.
It pisses me off.
had on, you know, on the Ed Trunk show. But
Eddie, we love Eddie.
Eddie was responsible for getting me my first record deal after I left Kiss the first time. You know, he got me. He was vice president of Megaforce Records.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was just in Vegas with Eddie Trunk because he was celebrating 40 years being in radio. So
everybody's confusing it with his birthday party. He goes, look, I'm not 40 anymore. Like, how could that possibly be?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm pretty good friends with Don Jameson and Jim Florentine. A teeny bit with Eddie. Eddie comes to some of my shows here at the Jersey Shore, hangs out.
He's great.
Yeah.
Great guy. He's one of those guys you feel like you're just talking to him, having a good time, and then suddenly you feel like you're doing a show. He's like,
Yeah, well, you know, he has a tendency to ask the same questions he would if he was interviewing somebody.
Yeah.
correct, exactly.
It's a discussive habit, you know.
But it's also, and it's organic, right? Because he loves music, he loves rock so much that, you know, him talking to you personally is the same as him doing an interview, which is kind of what you want, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I just sent them, you know, we finished editing Cherry Medicine, the video, a couple of days ago, and I sent him a copy of it before it got released on YouTube. You know, and he said, great, I love it.
Oh, I love it too.
He immediately invited me to come on the show and talk about the new record, so on and so forth. So I'll probably be going back on his show in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
When I get back from the cruise to the Bahamas, which I'm leaving on March 2nd to the 7th.
Nice.
I'm headlining the Monsters of Rock cruise with Joe Satriani and the Darkness. So that should be fun.
Oh, that will be more than fun, I'm sure.
Get Ryan had
Laura's never been on a cruise, a big cruise ship. So
she better make sure she takes her
Dramamine.
Nauseous message in case.
Yeah.
I want on a cruise. This is Scott Engel on a cruise. Oh my God, get me off this goddamn thing. Holy shit. But I said, I'm going to take my hotels that's not in the water.
Yeah, you like yours grounded. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my agent told me that me and Laura have one of the best cabins on the boat. So
All
Oh,
right,
so you
good.
should be good.
Forward to it because I'm probably going to have to spend most of my time in the cabin or in the VIP lounge where other band members hang out because it's, I can't walk around the ship because I'm continually hassled by fans.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's a different existence. Yeah. So, but you still go on vacations, unlike Gene, though.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to take Laura to the Bahamas. I mean, we're gonna go in March, with the boat.
Right.
But I'd like to, we're only gonna be there, get off the boat for a day, and but I'd love to take her there for a couple of weeks. I like to gamble. There's a nice casino at the Atlantis Hotel, which
Yeah.
I usually stay at.
That's a
I've been
nice place.
there
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's a nice casino over there. And it's good restaurants. You guys could probably, for someone like you, I would imagine, they'll know how to take care of you, right? To give you a little bit of privacy down there.
It wasn't too bad down there.
Yeah.
Because the townspeople really don't know rock stars from America like
Right.
it is here.
Right.
It's different. I remember Johnny Carson saying, he would always vacation in Europe because, the people in Europe aren't familiar with the Johnny Carson show.
Exactly.
Right.
They,
He
they
would
don't know who
never
he is.
vacation in America.
Right. Well, you don't have that luxury in Europe, though.
No, I'm famous all over the world now.
You are.
I
Yeah.
just got to be careful where I go and who I hang out with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We want to, as of this taping, I'm hoping to get edited and put some nice pictures in and stuff. And your album comes out tomorrow, but as of this taping, people will be able to get that album right now. And I'm calling it an album. I don't give a shit. I can't say streaming. It's an album,
Forever.
and you can get a physical album, right?
Yeah. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to Walmart because I don't know if you heard, Walmart's putting out a ventricular cover that when you turn it, the UFOs disappear.
Oh, I love that.
I love that technology.
They're doing a limited edition, and I don't know, I'll run up 2,000 or 3,000, and then they'll just be selling the regular one without the ventricular cover. But I mean, Walmart's big. I didn't realize that Walmart was international.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
And they're one of the, they're still standing. They put a lot of the little guys out of business, but now they're there. And, so that's huge. And then the album Scott was mentioning. So the album, by the time we air, the album will be available everywhere. We were chatting with you before we went on the air. It got leaked into Canada, right? So people are buying it in Canada already, right?
They started selling the album in Canada a couple of days ago because some of the record stores got the vinyl in. And instead of waiting till the 23rd, they just started selling it. So that, there's songs right now on the internet that shouldn't be there.
Ooh. Well, that's not good, I guess.
But I mean, what's a day or two? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a smash.
Oh,
I
yeah.
absolutely love it. I can't stop listening to it. The only, 3 songs that I've heard already. I can't wait to hear the rest.
There's a window that just popped up. Okay. Well,
Yeah, I'm plugging your stuff.
Yeah, Scott does he does the QR codes. He puts them right on the screen, so when people watch, they could just grab their. This better than we do. They'll grab their iPhone, take a picture of it, and they'll go right to your site and get the. They could buy the album right off our show
Or the book.
or the book. Look at that.
The internet has changed everything.
Yeah.
And AI is about to change the whole world.
It is.
I have a dear friend of mine who used to work for Apple, and he told me he spent 24 hours wearing the goggles.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable, because he sat in his living room and he would just draw on the wall 120-inch TV.
Isn't that
I
amazing?
mean, he'd have his regular TV that's, I don't know, a 75 or an 80-inch TV.
Okay.
And he had a 120-inch TV here and a 120-inch TV here. He said he couldn't tell the difference.
Oh,
He said these goggles are going to put the TV people out of business.
That's crazy. Now,
And why buy a TV when why spend $2,000 or $3,000 on a big TV when you can just draw it? Apple goggles.
That so let me ask you this. Are you scared of AI, or do you embrace it, or something in between?
I'm very apprehensive about it, because I've read a lot about it. I know last year, a lot of CEOs and scientists had a meeting about AI and talking about regulations. And the problem with AI is that the technology is moving so fast. Even if we wanted to regulate AI in America before the bills were actually passed, it's already too late.
Yeah.
And even if we did have the laws in place right now, we can't control what China or Russia does.
No.
So, it's like a loose cannon. And, eventually, a lot of people are saying, smart people that are familiar with AI are saying it's a 50-50 chance it could turn on us and become self-aware, just like the Terminator 2 movies,
Yeah.
I mean, look at that famous deep fake. You know what deep fake is, where they make it? It's like it was like me wearing a digital mask of Gary Busey at a fake interview. It took the internet by storm. They thought he was out of his mind, and it wasn't him at
Let's
all.
talk about your Cable Ace Award.
Let's talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does. Why is it doing what it's doing? Get it out of my face. What about buttered sausage?
That's not your jam. It's not your thing. You don't like it?
It's not my jam. I don't buy jam. I buy honey, and I kiss it on the lips.
That looks so real. It looks so real.
Yeah,
I'm totally fooled.
I have this program, like it's something face.
Okay.
But it has videos, and you can put, like, I was putting Laura's face on Victoria's Secret model, and I was putting my face on James Bond. It was bizarre.
Yeah,
it is.
And
but it's so easily accessible. And then you have like people calling up in your voice or my voice, trying to get money out of us and stuff.
Yeah, they call my parents get those calls. I think either you, Scott, or someone else I was talking to. They'll get calls with our voices saying, "I'm in trouble.
Right.
Send me money right away."
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Very, very spooky, believable.
Well, in the future, we're not really going to know what's real and what isn't.
Yeah.
And then you got these videos on YouTube that says we are living in a matrix anyway.
Right.
And the aliens are controlling it. What I say to Laura, even when we first met, I said, listen, when we're in a hotel room together and we're watching a movie, we're in our own bubble. I don't care if there's aliens in an article pulling strings. Right now we're in control of what we're doing. Nobody's telling me what to do.
Yeah.
And in fact, on my album, I wrote a song about AI.
Did you? Oh, nice.
Blinded.
Okay.
And in the song, I never used the term AI, but when you listen to the lyrics, it's about AI, and
that's cool.
It's a little scary at this juncture because some people are saying it's already too late. You got a Google robot that has access to 20,000 computers, can beat any chess player in the world
easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens when they become self-aware and realize that we're destroying the planet and there's global warming and fossil fuels and, wars are going on,
It's Star Trek had it right in the 1960s. Gene Roddenberry predicted all of this stuff, and Heinlein and all them.
I think Ace should write a science fiction book if you haven't done one already.
Yeah.
Well, right now I'm trying to write No Regrets 2, but I'm having trouble finding the time to do that and finding the energy and stuff because I'm doing so many different things.
Yeah.
But eventually, as things slow down in my life and I start touring less, because I got to promote this album, so I'll be touring probably for the remainder of the year.
Okay.
But then I'm slotted with the record company to start Origins Volume 3 next year.
Okay.
And that's going to be fun because I'll get guest stars to come on like I have in the past. And the great thing about those records is I don't have to write the lyrics or write the song.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah, a friend of mine came up with a term. He goes, "All you got to do is acify them."
Right.
Love it. Love it.
That's awesome.
That really is. And then, yeah, it seems like right now this is about as intense as you're going to get. And in your experience, when the press piece of it slows down a bit and you're just touring, will life get easier or more intense when you get away from these kind of things and then move on to your touring?
Well, touring is the toughest part because I hate traveling and packing and unpacking. The show is the easiest part for me and the most fun.
Right, because you just have to be on for 2.5 hours, and then you're off.
To travel, go to hotels, deal with shitty food, pack and unpack your luggage every day. That's, it's not fun
hard
anymore, but I do it because I enjoy touring and my fans want to see me perform.
Right.
And I still have a lot of fun performing with my band. So, I'll do it until the wheels fall off. Probably.
Good. That's the right attitude.
It
But
is.
I'm lucky because I have longevity on both sides of my family. On both sides of my family, people lived into their 90s. So, it's in my DNA. As long as I take care of myself, I'm probably good for another 10, 20 years,
You sound like you're talking about a car.
Exactly.
He gets his oil changed regularly, don't you?
I just take life one day at a time. I don't dwell on the past. And, I think about the future, but not too much. I just try to live in the now. And, even when I'm like recording guitar solos, I don't really think about what I'm playing. And as fast as I do a guitar solo, I forget it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like sometimes I'll record a solo and 2 months later, we decide we're going to perform it live. I got to learn it because I had forgotten it already because, it just came to me, it was, creative energy that just came out of me. But, you don't remember it unless you're doing it every day.
You're in your own little space, though. Like, you're not worried about all these shredders, the 12-year-old kids that can play rings around me. I'm not about speed. I'm more of a bluesy player, kind of like you are.
I'm a blues-based rock guitarist, like Jimmy Page and Eric Clapton. I mean, those guys were the guys that taught me how to play guitar. I used to dissect their solos and their songwriting. And, Jimmy Page is such a genius. So is Pete Townsend, the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, plus all the blues guys that affected my playing and my perception of rock and roll. It's just, if you study all the great guitar players in the world, it's going to rub off on you if you have the talent. And luckily, I got it by osmosis by living in my household and everybody was playing instruments.
Well, when I saw you at the Palladium, that's what I saw. When you took that long solo, you took a few of us on that little journey with you.
Yeah.
And it was if anyone knew anything about guitar, we could tell that you were just taking it wherever you felt.
Yeah.
And it was really fun to watch. Like, I knew what the guys I was with may or may not have known, but I saw what you were doing. And if there's any guitar players, which there are a lot watching you, you're taking us on your little journey every time you do one of those. Yeah. And I could tell you were doing whatever the mood took you to. And I thought it was really cool.
Well, that's what makes it fun. You know? I really enjoy performing and I enjoy making people happy. And there's one other thing that really gives me pleasure. And that's when I have meet and greets where people come backstage after the show. A lot of times, the guys will show me one of their AA coins or say to me, "Hey, so I've been sober now 5 or 10 years, and it's because of you."
Wow.
That makes my day,
Yeah, it's a nice scene back there. I saw you. You were you performed a show that would tire out a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
And then we went backstage and there was a long line and you were just being gracious to everyone. I remember that. We were kind of toward the tail end of the line and you were taking time with people. You were chatting it up with people, posing for pictures. So where most folks would probably just want to go back to their hotel room or in your case, maybe home because you live so close, you took the time to be with the people, and I thought it was a really nice thing to watch.
Yeah, but after the show and after my meet and greets, I got back to the hotel. Laura went up to the roof with her girlfriends and had a few drinks.
Right.
And I went to bed, put
Yeah.
on a movie because I was exhausted.
That's a hard thing. I mean, I saw, yeah.
And, the next day I feel it in my bones, but, that goes away, with exercise and a couple of cups of coffee and,
Yeah.
Yeah, you just take it one day at a time. I mean, I have herniated discs.
Oh boy.
I 6 car accidents, but I just keep going. And
Keep going, you do. Love what you do, brother.
I've gone for physical therapy. That's helped me. I have a great chiropractor that is 5 minutes from our house.
Perfect.
And she's terrific. And she really straightens out my back and helps my lower back tremendously. And every once in a while I go to my orthopedist and I get a shot of cortisone where I need it.
Yeah.
I don't do that more than 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do it more than every 4 or 6 months, I think, for those. Yeah.
I hurt my arm doing a Pete Townsend windmill during a Who song at a show. The videos, I'm going wildly with the thing, and then at the third one, you see me on the video go, ooh, oh, I'm in trouble.
It kills me when I read the comments on the internet and some negative people are saying, Ace, it's time to retire, you're slowing down.
No.
Most people, when they're 72, try to get up with a 12-pound Les Paul and do an hour and a half show and have to sing and remember all the songs and the lyrics and the solos. I mean, it's not easy.
No, I was shocked when I saw you. I mean,
the only reason I'm doing it is because I love it.
Right.
And that's great. And, I love this part of your career. You've had amazing success. And now here you are, you don't have the makeup on now. You're being the true rocker you were back in the Bronx even before you joined Kiss. You're coming home to your roots right now. And I saw your love of it. Like, you love to do a solo. You love the guys in your band. Like, I saw it all on stage. It was great stuff.
We get along very harmoniously. There's never any arguing backstage. I'm really good friends with my drummer, who I recently let him rejoin the band, Scott Coogan. For a while he had a problem. He was drinking. So I had to let him go. And the good news is he got sober. And after 2 years of sobriety, I ended up rehiring him because I had an issue with my current drummer last year. And it was great to get Scotty back. And he's a great drummer and he has a great voice. He sings a lot better than me. And so we have 4 lead singers because all the guys in the group can sing lead. My voice is giving me trouble. One of the other guys can, double my voice rather than use backing tracks like some other people do.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Yeah, we've done many shows on that.
Who does that? It's more rampant in this business than you actually know.
No, it's pretty bad.
Believe.
Yeah.
Don't mention that around Eddie Trunk. Oh my God, you'll get him going.
Yeah, that's a theme we've covered many times here. So it's great. And then, by the way, the video for 10,000 Volts is fantastic.
You haven't seen Cherry Medicine yet?
I saw it this morning.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet.
That's really great.
Yeah, Dave, you should check it out.
I'm going to.
Had, I think almost 4,000, almost 5,000 views. It'll probably be up to, by the end of the day, it'll be up to at least 50,000 or more.
Amazing.
I mean, I can't believe how my popularity has changed because, the record company hired a social media guy, and now I'm on TikTok and
You're all over the place. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're all over my feed.
Platforms. And it's hysterical because I go on TikTok and that's mostly young kids. And, 18, 17-year-old girls looking at videos of me from the 70s and going, oh, he's so cute. I love him. And they don't realize. I was cute in the 70s. I mean, I'm still not a bad looking guy.
Oh,
But
you're still
Nice.
cute, Ace.
You're okay. You got nothing to worry about.
No,
And keep making shopping videos. They're fucking hysterical.
I know.
I love those.
I don't know why. They're just
That happened by
interesting.
accident. I mean, the social media expert we hired was this guy Perry, and he just said, "Let's go to the supermarket." And I was just being myself.
Yeah.
I loved it. I've seen those. Yeah.
I forgot how funny I am. Watch the Tomorrow Show.
Yes. The plumber episode.
But
Hilarious.
they want to bring the real Ace out there. You're a nice, relatable human being. Like, and like right now, what we're getting to know you a bit, and just to see the nice guy. Yeah, I don't blame them for putting you out there, because if you're an organic person, that's what they want out there. There's no fluff. It's just you.
When I was in KISS, for example, Paul and Gene would not associate with the roadies or the truck drivers.
Right.
It was above them.
That's horrible.
Yeah, they had their nose in the air. I used to sit and play poker with the truck drivers.
There you go.
And hang out with my roadies, and we'd go to pawn shops together. I mean, I was accessible. I didn't. I was over, because I grew up on the streets,
Mhm.
and I know what it's like, not to have money, and so I don't judge people by how much money they have. It's about their character and their personality and whether or not they're good people.
Right.
That reminds me that you were a cabbie for a little while there in New York City. How long did you do that?
6 or 8 months. I know Paul was doing it too.
Was he?
Paul worked in a sandwich shop. I delivered liquor. I was a postman for 6 months.
Oh, really?
We did all sorts of jobs before, we started making the big bucks. In the early days, me and Gene used to room together in a Holiday Inn.
Mm.
And then after a live hit, we each had our own suites. And that's when the band started, everybody was going in their own direction.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the beginning of the end. I saw it happening. And plus, with the success of my solo record, I realized I was a lot more creative away from Paul, Gene, and Peter than I was around them.
Right.
Yeah. Well, if they're pushing on you that kind of toxicity, and you're not someone who kicks the ladder out from behind you when you climb up there, and your creative juices are going to be kind of quelled by them.
They would stifle my creativity. They would, if I did a great guitar solo in the studio, they would never, acknowledge it.
Oh, that's
They would
horrible.
just say, all right, we got that done. Let's move on. It was,
Right.
I never got the adulation that I would have given other people. I never felt like they appreciated me, and that's not a good feeling.
No, it's like if you kick ass on a solo, what should happen afterwards is they should literally hug you, right? Because that's a moment. That's a powerful moment. You captured a little lightning, and they should be grateful and give you a great big hug.
I mean, I've been in band situations where everybody's like brothers, and there's been other things that's just not, you're just not feeling it for one reason or another. Like, that guy's a jerk, or that guy's, I don't like the way he's treating a fan, or, whatever it is, whatever rubs me the wrong way. I kind of I want to get out of there.
Well, those guys know how to push my buttons. Now that I've been working for years without them, with my own band, everybody in my band idolizes me,
They
because,
do.
when they were little kids, KISS was huge.
Yeah.
And,
to get to work with your
Jeremy, he knows every one of my guitar solos inside and out. If I forget a part of a solo from a song that we're doing, I'll just say, Jeremy, what was that one lick I played?
Yeah.
Rattle it off, and I'm back in action.
Yeah. Well,
it's nice to be your own boss and be in control of your own,
Oh, it really feels like you're in such a good place right now.
This record's going to be a smash. You're having a good time.
Well, Paul and Gene put me down so many times, I said to Laura, and she said to me, the best way to get back at them isn't, to have a name calling thing.
No.
Yeah.
Just make a great record.
Do your own. Do you?
Because
Yeah.
they haven't done an album in 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
No, they say success is the greatest form of revenge.
It is.
And you're there.
Well, I think this album, it's already being compared to my 78 solo album, with the hit New York Groove.
Yeah.
And there's no filler on the record. Every song, I think, is a good song, if not great.
Well, I can't wait to see it in the Sony Theater. I'm coming for you.
That's right. That's the end of March, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys should come backstage and say hi.
Oh, we'd be honored to. We really would. Yeah. I'll give you my kombucha tea. Cheers.
My glass of water.
Yeah, I drink like 8 bottles of this a day. That's one of the things that cleans out my system and keeps me thin.
What are you drinking there?
Just Poland Springs.
Oh,
bubble water.
I do the kombucha tea. That feels good when I drink it every day.
I used to drink tea, and then I had a really dear friend of mine. I used to drink. I'd go like for a couple of years without drinking coffee, and then I'd go on I'd be doing black tea with honey and lemon, or green tea. But when one of my closest friends died a couple of years ago, and I went on the internet. He died of terminal liver cancer.
Oh.
So I went on the internet and it said prevention, how to prevent liver cancer, and the top, drink coffee in the morning.
Oh, drink coffee.
Oh, I love that.
My doctor also, he agreed, and he said, "Hey, don't ever stop drinking coffee."
Yeah.
It helps cleanse your system, and it gives you energy, and it's a natural antidepressant.
It really, yeah. I do 3 double espressos to start my day, and then I'm done for the day. I'm not kidding. Every morning, 3 double espressos to start my day.
Gets through the day,
That's right.
As long as it's not hurting your body.
No, I feel like what you said. I feel good when I have it, and it just sort of charges me for the day. But no more caffeine, other than a little bit of kombucha, and I'm done.
Yeah, caffeine's not going to hurt you, unless you abuse it.
And it's time tested, right? You got thousands of years.
God, caffeine's been around a long time.
Yeah.
In the band, the lead singer would drink 12 cups of coffee.
Now you're getting a little dangerous. Yeah.
What do you wear, a diaper?
In the evening, and I thought that was a little obsessive.
Yeah.
But everybody, there's always somebody out there that's going to abuse something and overdo it.
Yeah.
A lot of us are prone to addiction. I have an addictive type of personality, but I channel my addictions now into computers and music, and having fun with friends and touring and writing and recording. And
those are good addictions, right?
Working with Steve Brown was a big
Steve, I forgot to mention Steve.
Because me and him really hit it off in the studio, and this album wouldn't be anywhere near as good without co-producing it with Steve Brown. He really brought some magic into this record.
I love his guitar line that's out. I've been checking him out, the Steve Brown.
Not only that, I saved a lot of money working with Steve because he's been engineering Pro Tools for over 30 years. So I didn't have to pay an engineer. Usually, on previous records, I've had to pay an engineer $400 or $500 a day.
Yeah.
And, I didn't have to do that with Steve.
That's awesome.
It really is.
I gave him co-production, and we co-write almost 8 or 9 of the songs. I did a cover of a song by a gal named Nadia, and I heard the song for the very first time 23 years ago when the first Transporter movie came out with Jason Statham.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
The song, it's called Life of a Stranger, and it goes over the
credits.
The credits.
Right.
I never forget a good song,
Mm.
even though she recorded it, very Euro rock, and it was very sparsely recorded.
Mm-hmm.
But in my mind, I picture heavy power chords and guitar solo. She starts off with the verse, singing with hardly no instrumentality, and I started off boom, with everything and the guitar solo, and that's just the way I take it. I take it to a different place, and like I said earlier, I had to aceify it.
Right.
I love that.
So, Dave, I have a couple of takeaways here. My wife is 22 years younger than me. I play guitar. I like to paint, and I'm into science fiction. So, Ace and I have a lot in common.
I'm going to call you Ace from now on.
I'm going to name my favorite dinosaur, and you tell me who's your favorite dinosaur.
Favorite dinosaur?
It's an old movie reference. Don't worry about it.
What's your favorite sci-fi movie from the 50s?
Oh, well, see, I'm a 60s guy, so behind me is my Planet of the Apes stuff. I love the Planet of the Apes. I dragged my poor wife to the Planet of the Apes beach in Malibu, and there was no melted
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
I got hooked on sci-fi when I saw The Day the Earth Stood Still and Forbidden Planet.
Great.
With Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah. Great stuff.
Before he became funny, right?
Right.
Who was the chick in that? She ended up being in a female cop series, Honey West.
I don't remember her.
And I forget her name. But they had Robbie the Robot.
Right.
Who ended up in a couple of Twilight Zone series.
Right.
Yeah.
And, the robot on Lost in Space was very similar.
Right.
Yeah. Danger, Will Robinson.
Love all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but that inspired me to become the spaceman character when we all decided we wanted to be a theatrical rock group.
Yep.
Everybody had to pick a character. Peter was fascinated with cats. Gene liked his horror films. I liked my sci-fi movies, and Paul, was the front man and the lover, whatever. Yeah, nobody really.
You were the lover in the band. You just weren't advertising it.
Very few people know this, and he'll probably deny it. But when we were playing the Daisy in Long Island, it was a club where we developed our makeup. He had whiteface on with the red lipstick, and he used to have a circle around his eye, like the dog from the Little Rascal. And I had developed the silver stars,
right,
which I was really happy with. And Gene's makeup was coming along great. Peter needed a little help. Yeah. But, I said to Paul one night, why don't you, instead of the circle, why don't you put a star?
Yeah.
Oh, so you really...
he's wearing a star.
So he could have been Petey, but then he went with Paul.
I said, why don't you try a star? I think it would look cooler. And he tried it out, and he liked it, but he never gave me credit. I've never heard him mention that story in an interview, and he'd probably deny it if somebody brought it up then today.
Possibly, yeah.
He has an ego the size of
But the good news is that I'm sure you would never, and I would never want to live in the brain or the souls of people like that. I mean, they're never truly happy. If they have that, if they're so petty that they can't, say Ace gave me the idea for my makeup. I mean, I would hate to live in that soul because that's not a happy human being.
Well,
I mean, sometimes they just don't remember.
Don't seem really happy to me,
outwardly.
Go on the internet and see how many pictures you can find or videos of Paul Stanley cracking up. There isn't a lot, but there's dozens of me.
Oh,
yeah, because you're a happy human being.
Well, I try to hang out and do the things that make me happy. And, my father always said to me, look, if you don't have something good to say about somebody, don't say anything.
There you go.
Whereas Paul and Gene are constantly not only hitting on me and Peter, but even other guys in other bands, and it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
No, it really is. It really is, and that's just an ice cold soul. Who needs that?
It's what it is. Everybody's different. I wish them all the best with the avatars, and I hope that works out for them. In my own opinion, I think it might not, but I'm wishing them the best in any new endeavors they do. I think Gene's putting together a touring band. I wish them all the luck in the world. Yeah, but
it's the way to be.
Yeah.
And you guys are just celebrating your 50 years.
Yeah.
You know? And that's a monumental thing to still be in the radar after 50
yeah,
years.
we're in this. We can still talk to each other civilly,
right?
If we have to. Yeah, I mean, when Gene got sick in South America, it was, and he collapsed on stage. He was dehydrated. I got very concerned because I'm very close with Gene to this day. I sent him an email, and I said, "Gene, are you okay? I just read that you collapsed," and And within 10 minutes, he got back to me, from South America. And he goes, Ace, I was we were playing in the jungle. It was 106 degrees and very high humidity. He goes, I was completely dehydrated. And, he had his costume weighs about 30 plus pounds. So he said, well, pretty much he just needed a lot of Gatorade and he had to hydrate himself. And after that, he was okay. Thank God,
Yeah. Well, that's good that you still have the love for them, even with whatever issues are floating.
We created something that will endure way after we're all dead, and buried.
Yeah.
So,
legendary.
I try to let the negative stuff go and focus on the positive memories.
Good. And there's enough for them, that's for sure. There's so many.
We had a lot of fun. We used to really be very closely knit, and we'd have weekly band meetings and get the stuff off our chest that was bothering us. But like I said, once we became rich, we all became millionaires, everybody started going their own way. Everybody had their own limo. Everybody had their own bodyguard.
Right.
So, nothing lasts forever.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's true. But this chapter is fantastic for you.
You have this legacy, and it's good that you've embraced it and you put it in your pocket, but you're also doing new stuff.
Yeah.
I just thank God that, I'm still performing. I'm still healthy enough to create and tour and,
yeah, man,
do the things I enjoy doing,
That's beautiful stuff. And you got the great album coming out. Scott, maybe throw out that code again.
Absolutely. Let me bring it up here. You just click on this and order it right away with a push of a button.
Yep.
Stream, CD, vinyl, anything you want.
The album was originally going to be titled "Walking on the Moon," and that was the second single.
Right.
And, what happened was I really didn't like the artwork.
Okay.
I started thinking about after we had recorded 10,000 Volts. I'd bring Laura's girlfriends down to the studio, and everybody, all the girls, unanimously.
You got it. You got it right. You got it right. Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah.
You know what? I'll edit that shit out. Don't worry.
They all loved 10,000 Volts.
That is such a strong tune.
Thinking maybe we should go with a different, because I'm always going with the spaceman character, so on and so forth. So let's deviate from that path, and even though there's UFOs,
I love the creativity of it, though.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I found an Abbott and Costello bit where they talk about 10,000 volts. That was, I hope you're an ASC fan, WPIX Sunday morning guy watching their movies. If you're not, it's all good. But I thought it was pretty cool that Abbott and Costello was doing a bit about 10,000 volts in 1940 something.
They were predicting your album.
Yes.
That's what it was. Because it's an alternate universe and they kind of interwove with each other.
I don't know how I found that clip.
I think it's going to be popular in every multiple universe, hopefully.
It will. It's such a great tune. I've listened to it probably 15, 20 times already. It's a great tune.
In fact, we do have alternate universes, and I'll tell you how I know.
Okay.
I went in a pawn shop and bought a watch, a Versace watch. In fact, it's in the... No, that's not the one. I'm wearing a Versace watch in Cherry video, but there was I have a different one that's all black with diamonds, and I bought it. It was yellow gold, and I actually took a video of it with my iPhone the day I bought it. I woke up the next day and it was white gold.
What?
Wow.
I have proof. I have photographic proof.
I believe in that kind of stuff.
We'll sign an affidavit. He goes, Ace, I can't believe that happened. I go, well, when we walked into that pawn shop, we must have entered a portal.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding aside, I believe in all that stuff.
Oh,
I think it's real. Yeah.
As long as you are happy with what you're doing, it really doesn't matter where you are.
Right.
I could be on the moon. I could be on Mars as long as I'm in a healthy habitat.
Yeah.
I can be happy with as long as I have my toys with me and a woman.
That's right. You got that? And you're a fulfilled man. That's right.
Well, look forward to seeing you in person and cheering you on. Maybe see you before or after the show. Well, just like that, Dave. Once again, another Guitar Tales episode. This time we went over an hour 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Believe it or not, that's how quick it went.
Yeah, and Ace, we have this saying on the show that arose organically. You come in as a stranger, you leave as a friend.
Absolutely.
So so we've really enjoyed it. You've been wonderful and gracious with us.
Well, when Laura initially brought it up to me, I was a little hesitant because I've been doing so many Zoom videos. Like I said yesterday, I was doing Australia.
Yeah.
On the other side of the world, and I was already talked out, and I felt I didn't do as good an interview as I would have if it was earlier on in the day, because it was like 5 o'clock.
Oh boy.
But when they give me too many interviews, that's what happens. But eventually, luckily, this was the first interview of the day. And I'm feeling, chipper and happy and energetic. And I'm very excited about this new record. Dave, you got to go check out the Cherry Medicine video. Laura and her daughter, Valentina, look gorgeous in it.
Oh,
I'll be the second we log off today. I'm going to watch it. I can't wait.
Check it out. Yeah, we also didn't want this interview to be all about Kiss. It's a part of your life, but it's not your whole life.
Right.
Thanks
for having me on. It was such a pleasure, Dave and Scott.
Oh, absolutely.
Sony Theater.
Yes, sir.
We will see you next month. We're going to see you.
Yeah. And I also want to say thanks to all my fans for all the support and all the great comments they've been giving me on YouTube and all the other social network platforms. And I'm just going to keep doing what I do and
do it.
With the help of God, I'm going to get through the day and get through the tour. And, we'll be talking again,
For sure.
On the other side of the tour.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. This has been just a wonderful edition of Guitar Tales with Ace Frehley and Scott and myself. We want to thank everyone and our fans for watching this show. And with that, Scott, if you have any last words before we log off?
Just before we play the ending of the show, Ace, if you want to hang in for a few minutes, just after post recording, you can welcome to do that. If not, if you got to skate, you can take off and fly into the heavens.
I have to go. I have a date with my daughter.
Oh, then enjoy. That's the most important.
Yeah, she lives in White Plains, so I got to jump in the Jaguar and shoot over.
All right.
All righty. Well, thank you again.
Thanks, guys.
It was a pleasure. I'll see you guys at the Sony Theater.
Absolutely. Take care. See you. Bye-bye.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
How's it going? This is Weedles from Hair Supply. You're watching Guitar Tales with Diamond Dave Cohen and the legend, the guitarist Scott Engel. Get some.